So kind of in that same light as you were talking about the mask, people turning up, trying to kind of say, hey, we don't want to do this. We had a tragic event, um, well, several events, but to name George Floyd, and then AKA Twin with Stephen Jackson, right? Um, who sparked the whole movement. Of course, Breonna Taylor, say her name. It was just a lot of heavy moments in this year, on top of a pandemic, on top of Kobe, on top of everything. But I do feel very um, encouraged. I really feel that the youth that we see, um, they're not afraid. They have nothing to lose. Like with us, it was like if you don't go to college and you don't go this direct path, then you can just forget about having quote unquote success. I feel like to them, they're going at it a little bit differently, and they're letting their voices be heard politically. And I love it where that direction's going. But man, let's get into these protests. We got about 10 minutes on the clock, and go ahead and throw in there, the campaign and all that good. So we just gonna get this knocked out, man.
I
Oh,
think you
hold up.
muted,
You
Adrian.
on
Bro.
you on
You
mute.
muted.
You on mute. You on mute.
My bad, my bad. I'll start off. I say the best thing about these protests is this was the pandemic because people had time. I got time today. And
Yep.
that was a whole model of this whole, and that's what people really took for granted because these people they're at home, they have nothing to do, and the people who would normally be outraged, who they would have to go to work, but now they can go out there and let their voices be heard, and I say these young people get out there and let their voices be heard, and it was a beautiful thing to see that a lot of people coming together for a worthy cause and drowning out the naysayers' voice of people saying people always complaining. I think that was the beauty of the whole movement. They showed
Yeah.
that they won't be bullied, they won't be talked over. I think
Right.
there was a lot of tipping points. If you go back to Sandra Bland,
Mhm.
Tamir
Yep.
Rice, it was everything just blew up, just
Been building.
culminated.
Yeah.
Because I could say in my lifetime I never seen so many riots and things burning in multiple cities within the U.S. before, and that
And
was
the
the
Nah.
first
world,
for me. Yeah, and yeah,
all around the world.
Right.
and yeah, we sparked in other countries too, and that's how I knew the movement was a real deal this time. It wasn't just a fly by night situation, a T-shirt, move on, candle visual, and we're done. When the rest of the world took part, I said, "Oh, it's legit." I said they won't be silenced at this point. But yeah, that's my whole deal with the protests, and that just voice of the unheard were finally heard for
Yep.
once in this country.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I think we had initially when this movement began, I think we were having a conversation and we said this one just feels different,
Yep.
right? We had felt the just being pissed off, the anger, the frustration, the sorrow, the hurt for the families and for ourselves and for our community of you know black people being gunned down by police or civilians and just being let go. But this one just felt different. I think the fact that you said it, the world was on pause and we saw this man literally lose his life in 8 minutes and 46 seconds because
Yeah.
a cop nonchalantly left his knee on his neck. I think that just felt different. And so I think, that coupled with the fact that everyone had eyes on it and everybody had to slow down and focus on that, you couldn't hide from it. So you couldn't sweep it under the rug anymore. And it was right in your face and you had to do something about it. That's what I loved about this younger generation, man. They have no fear. And I salute those young brothers and sisters, man, of all races and all creeds, but especially our young black brothers and sisters, because they are fearless and they step to the forefront and they demand respect, they demand equality, and my hat's off to them.
Chris?
Oh yeah. So, hey, fellas, hey, I just want to say this. So this year really changed my perspective on protests. So I know for a long time with protests, I've never really wanted to put myself out there. I was worried about my job, that image that you want to protect. But actually riding in my car, going to the grocery store, seeing the young generation on the sidewalk of all different ethnicities and backgrounds coming together, representing for the same cause, like Adrian said, was a beautiful sight. The only thing I was a little bit cautious about this year with the protests, and also a little bit with the campaign, we'll get into that later, was the mass gatherings when we were going through a pandemic. And when I was watching the TV, I just couldn't build up the courage myself to go out there and protest, because this pandemic was affecting millions of people. And everybody in the protest was not wearing a mask. So now I've changed my perspective on protests. In the future, I will be more willing to go out there and put myself out there. I just want to encourage the youth to keep doing what they're doing, express their voice, but be safe about it, especially in the times we're in today with this global pandemic.
I'll say this: I thought about the same thing with the mask and people protesting. I say there are people dying, so they're willing to risk their life and go out there and protest. You know what I'm saying? And they were risking it all. And I say kudos, and even there's a pandemic going on, I respect them getting out there during that pandemic, because it was important their voices be heard even in the midst of this. Because had they went home, I don't think any movement would have happened. All right, you got it, Lee.
Yeah.
Or
Okay.
Jamarte.
Jamarte, go ahead. All right, you muted, so I'm gonna go ahead and go. All right, so I just got two things. Basically, the first one is that this thing it changed and it changed me. These protests. The first way is that I'm not worried about basically whitewashing our personalities when we go to work. Sometimes we put on the work voice or whatever and change up the way things are because we don't want to be perceived a certain way. But you know what? Forget that. I'm gonna be me, unapologetically me. And if you like it, cool, you can rock with me. If not, then I'm out. That's the first thing. Because I'm kind of tired of putting our who we are on the back burner. And the second thing is it was harder for people to kind of brush this off, and undermine it. So what I'm talking about is like with the protests, it seems like sometimes when things start rioting, it's easy for people to dismiss it. But this time around, that's one thing, they couldn't do, and people didn't let them do that this time around. And so one thing I talked about is, you know what, let them burn it down, because that is a symptom. We need to get to the causes. This police brutality caused these protests and the riots. And so if you fix this police brutality, you don't have to worry about people rioting and burning things down. So let's focus on the causes. Don't try to distract us talking about, oh, those people are rioting, they lost me. No, you were never with us if they lost you over burning something down. You know what? Focus on the causes. And if you are not with us, we know who's with us and who's not with us. So I feel like the people who's not with us, you guys are about to get left behind because this world is changing. So either get on board or get left behind.
Yeah, I agree, Lee, man. It's kind of like what the good brother Charlemagne the God says. When it comes to social injustices, they always look at the why or the how instead of the why. Mm-hmm. Well, how are these acting? Well, why are they acting this way? What has been done to them? So I think that's a great point. Instead of looking at the how of the situation, look at the why of the situation.
Yeah. And kind of going off with what you're saying there, Jeremy, how, like you said, look at the why. But people still going to say, they're going to be like, well, Black Lives Matter, though, that's a bunch of thugs and they're burning down stuff. But see, what I don't understand is you can say that about one organization or one group of people, but nobody's saying anything about a group of Proud Boys or somebody kicking in the doors at the Oregon State Capitol, or with the protests that they declared protests where they were supposed to disperse, and they did the exact same thing. They were burning things, they were breaking things, they were kicking in doors. Or when the Proud Boys were in Washington, Michigan, burning Black Lives Matter signs and doing all that kind of stuff. But nobody said they're just protesting because they're upset. How you going to say one group acts this way and call them all sorts of derogatory terms, but these folks are just upset? That don't make any sense to me. You
They
got to
can
level
see
the playing
themselves
ground.
in the Proud Boys. That's why they have more sympathy for them. They can't see
Yeah,
themselves. They
man.
can't, see themselves in us.
Yeah, of course, of course. So,
I think Jamarte.
man, so many emotions. Does everybody? Yeah, go ahead, y'all, man. Yeah, this is
Okay,
like a
like
heavy time for sure.
straight up, man. Like there's a couple different things I just want to hit on. I'm gonna try to be very succinct with it, but the first and foremost is I really, really enjoy being able to step back and realize that this is one of the most historic moments of our lifetime. Like this is right up there with the civil rights movement, as far as like some of the things that took place, right? Whenever it came up to the riots and everything else, it may not be the same level, but it's going to be something that's in the history books that we can look back and say either we took part in some shape, form, or fashion, or we didn't, and we're going to be able to tell our grandkids, our children, and be able to talk about this moment and then realize like how it impacted us for years upon years upon years. The second aspect is very similar to what Lee hit on, right? For me, like I'm trying to step away from respectability politics all day, every day now. I realize like how much of a problem it has caused in my life and other people's life. So I'm trying to grow towards being more like an anti-racist. I was reading a book by Ibram X. Kendi called How to Be an Anti-Racist, and he hits on the point of some that internalized racism and oppression that caused us to even go against each other, especially because I heard a lot of people whenever it comes to the protests, they were saying you don't need to be violent, you don't need to do X, Y, Z. Even as a black person, it was just kind of like if I hearing another a black person not being able to understand that rage that's associated with it, it was kind of hurtful for me to sit back and see that, right? But the other aspect is just I'm also appreciative that this took place, right? Because there was even more exposure of who I can trust and who I cannot trust. So with all those three components, I was like, all right, this is where we're at. I'm not surprised. Like this is America. And like I can move forward and move even more safely or choose to make different actions because all this has taken place.
Jamarte said, "This is America." It's funny how people can rock with that song, but they can't like think critically about the message in the song.
Right. Yeah.
I think it's just
Exactly, man.
because I think idealistically America is different than the reality, right? Like the ideals or the idea of what America is 180 degrees opposite of the reality that we live, especially in America. And that's a crazy thought, but Lee, that's a great point. The fact that people love that song, dance to that song, but then somehow they miss the message within the song. That's crazy
Yeah,
to me.
man. Yeah, man. So, yeah, you guys really just hit everything right on the head, man. The biggest thing I took from that is, man, we've come to a point where I see a few of y'all have got, you got your dreads. I'm able to have my beard right now. Just be unapologetically yourself. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's time for us to, say, hey, this is us. We should not have to bend to your rules of whatever that is because we're competitive, we're great, we're champions in our own respects in our own fields. So, I definitely want to just encourage you all as young brothers and sisters, kings and queens out there to, continue to be professional, be excellent, be black, and from that you're gonna get black excellence. So just continue to do that, and we're gonna make it. So I wanna go ahead and transition. Shift the turn a little corner because not long after that, all this is happening, we got to remember we're in the middle of a presidential election. Some say the most important election of our lives. I have to say my life, and probably a lot of other folks. So quick hits on the election, how it ties into all these things, man. We got like 5 minutes on the clock because we
Mine will be
gotta talk
fast.
about a couple things.
I
So
think
yeah,
the
we
the
gotta
one
wrap.
thing that ties all this up from the protests, the election, is fake news. Because
Yeah. Yeah.
if
Coronavirus,
you
fake news.
yeah, if you getting people to distrust the media, then your narrative is one that comes true. You know what I'm saying? But with that,
Yeah,
if people not trusting sources of information, then they leave themselves
everything is fake.
vulnerable. So
Right.
that I think
Hey man, hey, it's crazy to me because like, ain't that similar to what
yeah, I already know what you're
the
gonna say.
German dude did?
Yep.
Hitler? You, you know what I mean? Like that, and we can't see that. Like,
Yeah.
come on, man. I just don't understand how we can just be okay and follow the same damn footsteps that were laid out in front of us before.
Although
It's
we did
crazy.
vote him out this time, but I would say the only thing I got to say on this is I hope people don't get complacent because he's voted out. Because Joe Biden he ain't really that dude, so we got to make sure we hold him accountable. The whole Democratic, and not just the Democratic Party, the Republican Party, hold this country and the politicians accountable, and not get complacent. So that's all I got to say on that.
And like you saying right there, hold everybody accountable. And I'm excited Ms. Harris is in the office, but also, hey, y'all, if y'all watching this podcast, make sure you get out in that Georgia Senate election right now. Go ahead and vote for that. That's coming up. Is that the 5th or 6th? Make sure that those folks, they can change things in office. They need the power to change things. So get out there and vote. Make that change.
Show up, show out, show up, show out.
Get those student loans off.
Uncle Joe gonna come through in the clutch.
Hey,
I keep mine short. Just figure out ways to organize and have plans of action to utilize the power and the strength that we have. Because when we do, like, we can make some stuff shake, especially in our local government. So definitely do what you got to do. Make sure you get some like-minded individuals and take the time to learn these policies. It's gonna help us out. So if you can learn 1 or 2 policies every so often, it's gonna make a big difference.
and I will just keep mine short as well. In regards to the campaign, man, this was a historic turnout. This is the most votes we've ever seen in a national election. So this was big. The country really did turn out. I was proud of the way that it ended up with Joe Biden becoming the president-elect. So as Lee said, we just want to make sure that you hold the candidates accountable. And I am in Georgia, so I will be voting for Ossoff and Warnock. So go Ossoff and Warnock. And one last thing, I got to give kudos to Stacey Abrams. She really held it down and really helped out with the voter suppression issues. So great job, Stacey Abrams, on really promoting that initiative.
That's what's up. So I think anybody else got anything on these elections? If not, we're gonna get up out of here and shift gears to that dude, Bron, in this NBA bubble, in this NBA season. Yeah. That dude went and got another ring. NBA bubble, they did it. I think they had 0 COVID cases up in there.
Yeah.
They even had what happened with old boy that got kicked out of the bubble because he was trying to get some.
Daniel House. Was it the guy on the Houston Rockets?
No, man. I think
That was football, wasn't it? That was football. It was NFL, wasn't it?
Well, there was one there, but that was Daniel House. In his
the trainer allegedly.
Yeah, but man, I honestly think, man, it was crazy because at this time when everything shut down and the NBA decided to pick back up, I think that it was a great move by the NBA to go into the bubble. There were some cases early on during the initiation of it, but once we got to the playoffs and the play-in games, there were 0 cases. I thought the NBA did a heck of a job just isolating players, isolating individuals, coaches, all of the above to make sure and ensure that they had a productive finish to their season. So hats off to the NBA, hats off to Adam Silver, man.
Listen to
Maybe
the
this guy should have
experts.
been in charge of maybe he should have been in charge of the Corona pandemic nationally, and it was crazy.
They didn't have one.
Well,
Right.
I'm just saying. I understand what Jeremy is saying right there. NBA did a great job in the bubble. I mean, but we're gonna have to call this championship like that. What they call it? Wind assistance in a track, Adrian.
Yep, win aided. Win aided.
Thank you, Adrian. I appreciate you. So LeBron may have won this championship, but I'm gonna put it like this: it was like a wind aided the championship. So there's gonna be an asterisk next to this title. I can't call it like that. And he said, I can't say you got it clean. No, I need a full season out. You call that a W. So you will get that wind aided assist, LeBron. You ain't the GOAT yet, so you got a lot to learn, player.
Hey,
I
I
don't know
feel
if
like
I'm gonna ask
Gavino. I feel like
There's
Gavino G just called me out. I'm a big LeBron fan, but I just want to start off why the NBA went to the bubble. So when sports kicked back off, there was no fans. Major League Baseball kicked it off first, and Major League Baseball right away started to have outbreaks. So they had to cancel games, delay games, and they weren't even having breaks, but they were traveling to different cities. Same happened with football, college football, and professional football. We started to see outbreaks here and there. So the NBA came up, NBA and NHL, National Hockey League, came up with a plan to do their playoffs in a bubble. And both leagues were successful in having 0 cases. Now, kudos to the Lakers. I'm glad they won the championship, especially within the year that Kobe passed. But now fast forward to December, the NBA is back already, and they're no longer in a bubble. So I'm interested to see what will happen. There will continue to be no fans for a while, but will they start to have to cancel games, postpone games due to COVID like the other sports? I'm curious to see that.
Hey, but as sports fans, can we just forget about the COVID for a minute? And within that bubble, can we recognize some of the superstars that were born in the bubble? Like, you look at Jamal Murray. I think Dame solidified himself as a Hall of Famer, regardless of what his championships look like at the end of his career. Like, there was so many players. Michael Porter Jr. coming through. Like, there were so many players in the bubble.
Devin Booker. Devin Booker.
yes.
Led his team to an 8-0 record in the bubble. Man, that was some of the best basketball I've ever seen in my life. I was such a huge fan of it. I was tuned in every day, had my NBA League Pass. Sorry, NBA, I didn't pay for it. I got it from my homeboy. But I was every single day. Man, it was a beautiful thing. I'm so excited about this NBA season. It's going to be one of the best ever. Jason Tatum, a rising star, man. It's going to be great ball, man. I'm so hyped for it.
Hey,
Shout out to the Atlanta Hawks. They're going to win the championship this year. That's what I'm just going to say. Hawks, baby. We in there.
Gotta go.
Hawks, baby. This our year. This our year.
EPL, baby.
Hey, you the Cowboy fan, bro. That's how you sound.
It ain't that bad. It ain't that bad. That's denial.
Hey, but real talk, I'm on the same page with nephew whenever it comes to seeing the basketball during the bubble. To me, it felt like one of the most purest forms of the NBA I've seen in a while. It was kind of like a big AAU tournament, and like seeing some of the Snapchats and posts that some of the other players had. Like it was Donovan Mitchell and Jamal Murray, seeing their friendship. Like I think it was like Donovan Mitchell. I think he said, "Man, this dude just dropped 50 on me, and I got to see him eating his meal outside." You know, like just cracking those. Yeah, I really thoroughly enjoyed it. Can't wait to see like what all happens as far as like this upcoming season. But I was satisfied with the book.
No doubt. And I just wanted to mention also that it kind of intersected with the protests. Remember, we almost didn't have the finals because I think, what was it, a couple weeks in or a month in, whatever it was.
Yeah, there's another.
We had a shooting in Milwaukee or death in Milwaukee.
Yep.
I'm sorry, I don't know the specifics. Don't want to get into specifics, but it was just like another thing. And I know that it was a chance that these guys wouldn't come back and we wouldn't have had those memories. I have to say, heck no, this ain't no asterisk year. There's been other years. There's been short seasons, lockout seasons, all that other stuff. So
I agree.
they beat the teams that was in front of them. They had to persevere the bubble. And, hey, give this man his props. I'm not saying he's on the same level as Jordan. He's at the table. He's at the table. There's no question in that. And if this dude three-peats,
I don't care who won it.
if this dude three-peats and ends with 6, I'm not saying he's the GOAT, but I'm just saying it's close. It's close.
Man,
But anyway,
Somebody got to get Jordan his water and his towel. Somebody got to
would-
get Jordan his water and his towel.
This
That's
guy,
what LeBron gonna do.
this guy went and stole the Monstars talent. But besides that, kudos to the NBA. But listen, they let but just like you said, they let the players personalize their jerseys to what they
Yeah,
wanted on the back, man,
exactly, yeah.
which I thought was huge,
that was
man.
yes.
And you know,
I think
Yeah.
and hats off to the was it Atlanta Dream, right? Standing up to Kelly Loeffler,
Oh,
letting her know what you know.
Yeah.
Mhm.
And
Go
so,
vote.
Put her out of office. She in that
Go
Senate
vote.
race.
yeah.
Go vote.
Yeah.
All y'all Georgians, go vote, man. And hats off to the NBA, Adam Silver.
And WNBA too.
And
Speaking of,
WNBA. Chris Paul, Diana Taurasi in the WNBA had a large voice. Candace Parker,
Megan Rapinoe,
Megan Rapinoe
US
for the women's national teams in soccer. Man, Chris Paul, LeBron James in the NBA. All those people had large voices trying to bring equality, man. It just
Hey.
all these people doing great things, man. I'm glad that they being recognized, and society is starting to recognize some of the ills that we've had and trying to correct them. So hats off to those leaders, man.
and one thing that they did as well that we didn't mention when we were talking about the election is that they made those stadiums polling booths, and so I think that helped allow a lot of people into voting. But one thing that was real cool about sports this year, I know is a little off, but I mean we had football, baseball, basketball, hockey, all at the same time. That was kind of nice.
Yeah.
The games were earlier too, so we could watch that. The only thing that we missed this year was the Olympics, but we got the Olympics. They moved into 2021, so we got the Olympics coming up.
I'll be so pumped up for that.
They're coming up. Yep.
Hey, and
College football was bad though. College
Hey.
football was bad.
Hey, real
I mean,
quick, we'll
yeah,
touch on. I don't know about bad, but we
It
talk
was
about
down. It was down.
before we pass it up, man. Lee, you made a great point. They turned some of the arena polling booths for voter registration. I know the Staples Center was one in LA, and hats off to number 44, Barack Obama, for that idea. He was the one that answered the phone call in the 12th hour from LeBron James and Chris Paul, calling him at midnight, man. If you haven't seen the shop episode with Barack Obama on there, if you haven't seen the Jesus and Mero episode with Barack Obama on there, go check it out, man. Dude's dropping gems, and also persuaded them to use their leverage while in the bubble to get their voices heard and make real change. So hats off
Texting
to
Obama right now to thank him.
I thought you were Obama.
I saw that, Lee. That's crazy, Lee. That's crazy, Lee, because he just texted me, said, that's crazy, Lee. You just text him, and he just texted me, said, why is this Negro texting me? Man,
Where you get my number from?
Hey, why'd you give that fool my number, man? I told you not to give me. But hey, I think everybody's spot on with the bubble, with the NBA. I'm just looking forward to Christmas coming up. You know what I'm saying? And all those games that are going to be playing on that day or whatever. So I'm getting tired, y'all. We got to get up out of here. But we got to talk about it, man. We got Christmas traditions coming up. It's that time of the year, or not Christmas traditions. I say that, but holidays, New Year's is coming up. So I don't like to set resolutions for myself. I like to talk about opportunities that I need to address and set a goal. We got that. We could talk about your favorite traditions, and then just share, what you like most about this holiday season, man. We got about we already in overtime, y'all. So we in super overtime, but I think this is important. So let's go ahead and get into it. Let's go around the circle, man. 30 seconds. We got a few minutes, man.
I'm gonna make mine quick. I'm enjoying this holiday season watching the Seahawks make the playoffs, and I don't have to waste my time waiting for a Dallas Cowboy game to get over with, because they ain't gonna, I don't have to waste my time with that. So that's my tradition this holiday season.
Okay, hey, Lee, make sure you put a 50 burger on him tonight. Please do.
Yeah, man.
I got you. I might put a 70 burger up.
Hey, let's clarify. Let's clarify now. What's the 50 burger now? What's the 70 burger? We talking Madden, right? Madden, right?
Yeah.
Hey,
Go ahead, go, y'all. Like, so for me, I just want to talk about like the gift that I want to make sure I give to myself and then other people, because it all correlates, right? It's going to be in regards to mental health. Y'all know how I am. I throw it out there and I make sure I talk about it. But real talk, as men in particular, we need to make sure that the child in us is in alignment with the man with us, right? And then in order to do that, we must face those things that were childhood traumas that we never endured. I mean, that we never stepped up to and said, like, this hurt us. So please make sure that you're looking at that and you're trying to make sure that you can be whole. Because once you're whole, you're able to be the best version of yourself for other people. And then with that, it makes me think of a song that has been in my head up this whole year. This whole deal, I would say, It's Me Versus Me by Moneybagg Yo. Let's make sure that we continue to realize that. Forget all the jealousy, forget all the extra competing. We ain't competing with nobody else. Like, we are uplifting each other, especially our other black men. So that's what I have as far as my gift for each other, well, for myself and each other this year. But yeah, I'm out.
hey, for me, I just want to say, for my Christmas tradition, I'm gonna watch all the NBA games, drink, and be merry. So I have some beer on deck, and I'm gonna watch LeBron James play Luka Doncic, the next rising star. And I watched the Brooklyn Nets play. I'm rooting for KD's comeback this year. Not a big Kyrie fan, but I am rooting for that. And just as my New Year's resolution, I want to continue to on this journey of lifelong learning. So whatever I want to learn, I'm going to push myself next year to really step up and learn something new every day.
Yeah. I'll go ahead and go. So for me, one thing that I started doing in 2020 was meditating. I talked to you guys about this. And so in 2021, I just want to continue that and do it a little bit more consistent. And then I want to kind of be like Kobe in the fact where I'll let my light shine. So, give others motivation by being who I am and the way I operate. And so that's one thing that I want to do for 2021.
Salute that. Is that everybody?
Everybody. Oh no, my deal is just to do more. That's like, just increase knowledge. Right now I got this my newest book, The Color of Law. Just just how our lives reshape from the government's ordinance and laws they pass down from us, just to increase knowledge on there. So can't nobody tell me my history or tell me why things are the way they are, so I can, in a sense, check them. That's my ultimate goal, is not to be put in a position where I got to sit there and say, yeah, maybe you're right. Say, no, you're wrong because of this X, Y, and Z. So my goal is to increase my knowledge and put people in their place. It may sound selfish, but that's where I'm at right now. With this
You've
whole
already been
situation.
doing that, putting people in their place.
That.
Hey, man, now it's more evident that it needs to be done in the state of the world. So,
What's that book again?
The Color of Law.
Okay, I gotta check it out.
There you go.
Just unlocked his superpower, bro. December 21st just passed, right? So
He said, hey, you bucket. Hey man, like Jay-Z saying this Forever Young. Let's dance in style. Let's dance for a while, baby. That's what we gonna do, man. That's 2021 right there.
Definitely, man. For me, I think it's just, man, I don't really necessarily have a certain resolution. I think it's just growth. in every aspect of life. And one of my things is just to be more well read. I already read right now, but you can never read enough. And right now, a couple of books I'm actually diving into two right now. One is A Promised Land by President Obama, part one, and then another is actually let me check right quick. I just got it. Gotta pull it up right quick. But actually, just be more well read, and honestly, it's to be more open with those and more willing to share knowledge with others. So I think man, 2021 is going to be a great year for all of us. And the other one is A Long Time Coming by Michael Eric Dyson. It's his new book. It just came out a couple weeks ago. I couldn't remember. A
No,
Long Time Coming.
I got his Jay-Z book. That's one I got.
Yeah, that's dope too. That's dope
Yeah.
too, man. It breaks
I
down
read
Jay-Z.
that's a good one too. I read that one too.
Yeah, so man, I just think that we gotta share knowledge, man, and build each other up and continue to grow, man, in a positive asset or in a positive way, and be an asset to one another.
Real.
Ready? Nice.
Chris, you good? Everybody good? I think that's about it,
Thank
man.
you.
Well,
Yep.
we appreciate, for myself, like I said, man, I definitely want to be very specific about goals this year. And I will be managing my time better. So, those two things are going to be my main focus, my opportunities. But all in all, one of my favorite traditions right now, with my family is actually just doing something. Right now, I'm teaching my kids to actually give back on this particular day. Just not only this particular day, but this time, you never know if there's someone in need. You always want to be able to help if you can, and then also remember your family. That's what these times are about for me. Forget all the commercialism, forget all the gifts and the under the tree and all this stuff like that. For me personally, it's all about family, making sure you're able to uplift someone else, and just spreading love. So we definitely appreciate y'all checking in with us. Like, comment, and subscribe below. Remember, just a recap of 2020. Let us know in the comments, what is y'all favorite moment of 2020? We got, obviously, from Kobe to social injustice to protest to NBA finals, so many different things. We made it here. Give yourself a hand. Give yourself a round of applause. We getting up out of here. And we appreciate y'all. We're going to be back in 2021. Don't go nowhere. We're going to have some more topics, some more tune for your head top. We gone, man. Appreciate y'all. Blessings.
Happy holidays.
Oh yeah.
My dude said he's like,
Goodbye, y'all.
somebody.